Now from Kenner's Star Wars collection, it's the Patrol Dewback action figure sold separately.
Let's find the droids, Dewback.
In 1977, when Kenner got the rights for the Star Wars toys, they were not ready for the massive demand coming their way. Only 12 figures hit the store in 1978. They tried to play catch-up in 1979 with the release of 9 more figures. However, by late 1978, they had already started to focus their plans on the Star Wars sequel set for 1980. They would have a lot of time to have figures in stores months before the release of the film.
I feel safe here.
Thanks to Lando Calrissian. Welcome to Cloud City.
From Kenner's Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back collection, action figures R2-D2, Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia, each sold separately. And here's action figures Boba Fett, Darth Vader, and IG-88.
They can't escape us.
I'll get the bounty. No, boss, I will.
For the first series of figures in 1980, Kenner released 10 new Empire Strikes Back figures, 11 counting Yoda, who would not be released until months later to not spoil the look of the character, who was left out of promotion and the trailer until the release of the film. That was 11 new figures for Empire Strikes Back, one figure less than the first series of figures in 1978. Kenner was still producing the old figures, making 31 figures available at retail by the end of 1980. In 1981, the new release figures dropped to only 9 figures. Another 9 would be released in 1982, bringing a total of the end of the Empire Strikes Back run to 47 figures at retail. To have 47 action figures still being sold and released is unheard of today. Closing in on the end of 1982, Star Wars fans could get their first look at the 48th figure, and the first figure being released from the then titled Revenge of the Jedi. That figure that was caught in a trap with his alien looks was Rebel freedom fighter Admiral Akbar. Lucky kids who sent off for it early could get it in their mailbox long before kids could buy it at the store, making it a great attention getter to the other kids in the neighborhood.
The Force is back. The rebels won't tire till they see the last of the Empire. And Kenner's there with Star Wars Return of the Jedi collection.
Biker Scout reports. All's quiet at the security shield. That shield and guard's gotta go. I'll cause a diversion.
Han Solo, Logray, Chief Sherpa, and Biker Scout, each sold separately.
Yaha! Why, you little Ewok? Let the rock roll. Direct hit.
With the launch of the now titled Return of the Jedi, Kenner didn't hold back. With Star Wars, 12 figures was rushed into production. For Empire Strikes Back, that 12 dropped to 10, or 11 if you're counting Yoda. Boba Fett was released in stores on the Star Wars card in 1979, so you can't really count him as a first Empire Strikes Back release figure. In 1983, Kenner released 16 new figures and released Admiral Akbar on the Return of the Jedi card, making the official number of Series 1 Return of the Jedi figures 17 new figures, and bringing the line to an unbelievable 65 figures. Kids walking into a well-stocked store in 1983 had a lot of figures to pick from. But like most kids, they went straight for the new ones, even if they didn't have the older figures already. In those first 17 figures released, it was mixed with heroes, villains, and what kids loved the most, aliens. Kenner had known since 1979, kids loved the alien figures. But with a lack of any great background aliens for Empire Strikes Back, there was very little new aliens to turn into plastic. Out of the 17 figures released, 11 would be aliens. 3 of those aliens would be Ewoks, if you count them as aliens. You could even count it as 12 aliens, as the Princess Leia wore a disguise so she could dress up like Bounty Hunter Bosch. Many kids played with this as a Leia figure, or at times as a Bounty Hunter alien figure. It could pass as either in a kid's sandbox. There were 3 of the returning heroes, Luke as a Jedi, Lando as a skiff guard, and again Leia in a Bosch outfit. Sorry Han Solo, you didn't make the cut for Series 1, but they did make a General Medine. Yep, Kenner decided to make a General Medine figure over releasing a new Han Solo figure. I would say maybe that was to keep the secret that Han gets unfrozen, but he was all over the marketing, so that really couldn't be the case. Also helping out the Rebels in Series 1 was Rebel Commando, and the fish-eyed fool alien Akbar, who I also count as an alien, was released on card. Not all aliens have to be bad guys. Another alien that was also a war rebel hero was Lando's right-hand man, Nagnum. For the bad guys that didn't fall into the alien camp, there was the Rebel Guard, who was basically a useless figure. The Emperor wasn't released for a year later, so how fun would a Royal Guard be? The new stormtrooper of the Return of the Jedi line was the always very cool Biker Scout.
I'm gonna crash!
Biker Scout, you're not all you're cracked up to be.
12 figures would be added to the line in 1984. In the past, for the second round of releases for new movies, Kenner only saw 9. 9 with Star Wars, 9 with Empire Strikes Back. But with these new 12 figures in 1984, that brought the official release total to 77 figures, with 2 Ewoks being added at the very end of 1984, making the official count for Series 2 Return of the Jedi figures 14 figures. Among those 14, we finally got Han Solo, this time in his indoor outfit. The Emperor was released, causing kids to have to buy at least 2 Royal Guards. Pretty sneaky, Kenner. Leia and her combat poncho was released, and Pruneface rounded out the Rebels ground troopers. Yes, Pruneface is a Rebel figure. No, he's not one of Jabba's goons. And the other Rebel trooper release wasn't one of the ground troopers. He was high above Endor in his B-Wing, the B-Wing pilot. A total of 4 Ewoks was released, with 4 Jabba goons added to the line, one of them being a Jabba goon droid. Unlike Empire, Jedi only got 2 official releases under the Return of the Jedi logo. In 1985, Kenner jumped from Return of the Jedi to Power of the Force as a way to release figures from all 3 films. That line, in the US, would be 14 figures. 15 counting Yakface, who was never released in the US, and 17 if you're counting the 2 late Ewoks that were released in the US only under the Return of the Jedi logo, bringing the official total figure of numbers at the end of the line to 92 figures. The only figures that were dropped from the release was 3PO and R2, as they were upgraded throughout the line. But Return of the Jedi added a whole new level of fun to Star Wars playing. We got more aliens than we ever had before. We had more than just the Empire to fight our Rebel figures. And sure, they didn't come with lightsabers, and they didn't even come with guns. They did come with very cool staffs. Playing with these figures with a staff added a lot more fun beating up other figures than just shooting them across the room. The Return of the Jedi action figure line was great. It really stood out next to other figures at stores in 1983. And it even stood out next to some of the earlier Star Wars figures that were starting to look a little dated by 1983. Aliens, droids, and bears? Oh my, the Return of the Jedi line was fun. Well, that's a look at the Return of the Jedi action figures by Kenner. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Did you like the Return of the Jedi series? Thumb up so I know you like my content. Subscribe to the channel. We'll talk again soon.
You don't scare me, Darth Vader, because I have the strength of the Force.
You cannot hide.
I'm a Jedi Knight, and the Force is the strongest power in the universe. Your powers are weakening, Vader, but the Force is strong in me. I can feel it.
Feel the Force with Kenner's Star Wars Return of the Jedi collection. Figures, vehicles, and playsets each sold separately, only from Kenner.
Hey, Junkman channel popping though.
Thank you, sir, for that unsolicited testimony.